Let's talk about what it really means to rule over your own body. I'm not just talking about being in shape. I'm talking about having total command over the one thing that carries you through every single moment of your life. Look at this number, 2,130. It represents one of the most untouchable records in sports history. For 14 straight years, one man showed up for 2,130 consecutive games. That man was Lou Gehrig. But you know, the number itself isn't even the most incredible part. It's what he had to play through to get there. I mean, just try to imagine the kind of punishment his body took. He played with fevers. He played through skull-splitting migraines. He played with a hand that had 17 healed fractures. It's no wonder they called him the Iron Horse. He wasn't just showing up. He was dominating, all while dealing with unbelievable constant pain.
Get this. The day after taking an 80-mile-per-hour fastball straight to the head, he was right back on the field. This swelling was so bad his own cap wouldn't even fit on his head. He had to borrow one from his teammate, Babe Ruth. That's not just playing. That's sheer will.
But here's the thing you gotta remember. Gehrig wasn't some kind of superhuman. He heard that same little voice inside his head that we all do. You know the one. The one that says, I just take the day off, or this is too hard. Just quit. He just happened to live in what one of his managers called an age of alibis, where it seemed like everyone had a ready-made excuse. Gehrig's real superpower? He just got incredibly good at ignoring that voice. And really, this internal fight boils down to a choice between two totally different ways of living. On one side, you've got the strenuous life, the path of guys like Theodore Roosevelt, and of course, Lou Gehrig, a life built on action and discipline. And on the other side, the life of excess, the path of folks like King George IV, and yeah, even Gehrig's own famous teammate, Babe Ruth. And let me tell you, the price of that excess is steep. King George IV's breakfast, just his breakfast, was 2 pigeons and 3 steaks. He got so huge he couldn't even sign his own name on documents. When his body finally gave up on him, his last words were just pure shock, like he had no idea that his choices would actually catch up with him.
Even Babe Ruth, the poster boy for excess, eventually saw where that road led. He famously pulled Gehrig aside and warned him, "Don't be a sap, keep in condition. I made a lot of mistakes. I had to pay for all those mistakes." He knew, better than anyone, that the good times were temporary, but the bill always comes due.
So what was Gehrig's secret weapon against all this? It was this one simple, incredibly powerful idea. It wasn't about feeling great every day. It was about having the will to show up. He called himself a willing slave to baseball because he was just so grateful for the chance to play the game he loved. He refused to let that voice of weakness win. Okay, this brings us to a really crucial idea about discipline. It's so easy to think of it as a punishment, right? As something that just takes all the fun out of life. But people like Gehrig and the ancient Stoics, they saw it in a completely different light. It's not about depriving yourself, it's about taking control. And here is the absolute key to understanding this. Discipline isn't the opposite of pleasure. It's the path to getting it. The work, the grind, treating your body with respect. That's the price you pay. And the reward? That's the deep, lasting satisfaction that you can only get from earning it. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus nailed it. He said that our virtues, our character, our goodness, they need the body as a necessary instrument to actually do anything in the world. I mean, think about it. A weak, neglected body can't really serve a strong mind or a good heart.
And the Stoics, they had a pretty clear method for this. By intentionally putting yourself in tough situations, dealing with cold, with heat, with hunger, you strengthen the body, you build resilience, you turn it into an instrument that's ready for whatever life decides to throw at you.
All right, let's bring this all back to Lou Gehrig, because his story is really the ultimate test of this whole idea. What happens when you have to master a body that is actively starting to fail you?
Another philosopher, Seneca, said we should treat the body rigorously so it will always obey the mind. For almost his entire career, Gehrig's body was the perfect, obedient servant to his incredible will. But then, it started to disobey. The disease that would one day be named after him, ALS, just ravaged his body. It stopped listening. His hands couldn't field a ground ball anymore. His legs couldn't carry him around the bases. The instrument was breaking, and he knew, deep down, that he was starting to hurt the team he loved so much. And so, in what might be his single greatest act of discipline, he took himself out of the lineup. He ended the streak. Now, this wasn't an act of weakness. It was the ultimate act of control. He proved, beyond any doubt,
that he was the master of his body and his pride, not just a slave to some record. He elevated himself by mastering his physical self, even as it was fading away.
Gehrig's story is it's beyond inspiring. But what does it mean for us, for you and me, right here, right now? How do we take these lessons and master our own conditioning?
Because let's be honest, our daily struggles aren't televised. We don't have trainers watching our every move or millions of fans screaming our name. In the quiet moments of everyday life, when nobody is watching, we have to be our own coach, our own manager, and yeah, our own master.
So I'm just going to ask you, straight up. You say you're passionate about what you do, your job, your family, your health. Okay, where's the proof? What are you doing day in and day out that shows it? Lou Gehrig had his streak of 2,130 games. Yours doesn't have to be on that scale. But if you truly love something, if you're truly committed, what kind of streak do you have to show for it? In the end, that's the only question that really matters.